Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, peace be upon you. His Excellency Dr. Jamal Al-Suwaidi, the General Director of the Emirates Center for Strategic Studies and Research, would welcome you to this Ramadan event, this conference on the role of technological development in supporting media. This conference is part of the series of events and conferences where we host several experts and strategists to share with us their opinions and views about current issues. Ladies and gentlemen, the big development in information had real impact on the circulation and the stream of news, and media now have more capability to broadcast the news, and this reflects the degree of reliability of every single means of media. The introduction of social media had its role on that, and all institutions became very interested in using this tool to reach more audience. So these changes, which have to do with the internet, raise a lot of questions, especially in the United Arab Emirates. So how these changes can be influencing the media panorama in the United Arab Emirates, how we can benefit from the social media in order to increase our importance locally and our reputation regionally and internationally. To discuss that, we are pleased to host Dr. Ali Rashid Al-Noaimi, the Vice Chancellor of the UAE University, and Mr. Mohammed Al-Hammadi, the Editor-in-Chief of Al-Ittihad newspaper. We will start with Dr. Ali Rashid Al-Noaimi, who will talk about the importance of technological development. And to give you a glance about Dr. Ali Rashid Al-Noaimi, I can tell you briefly that he is the Vice Chancellor of the UAE University. He held a PhD from Imam Mohammed bin Saud University, Saudi Arabia, and a master's degree from Portland University, and a Bachelor of Science from Portland State University. His works have been published widely in scientific journals. Dr. Rashid Al-Noaimi, we are pleased to host you. You have the floor. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate, Your Excellency Dr. Jamal Al-Suwaidi, Executive Director of the Emirates Center for Strategic Studies and Research. In the beginning, I would like to thank Dr. Jamal Al-Suwaidi for inviting me to this conference. I would like also to thank all of you for attending this conference with us. This is a Ramadan meeting and Ramadan gathering, so I would like to improvise more, and I would not stick to the academic presentation, because I'm sure you had a big meal in the iftar and you are more willing to listen to something light. Well, if we look at the reality of the media in the United Arab Emirates, let's talk about the most important event nowadays. I think that it is the announcement of the results of high schools. If you remember, in the old days we were relying on the radio, and every one of us was listening to the radio in order to know the results. Now, this year, and for the first time, the Minister of Education and His Excellency Mohammed Al-Hammadi, the Minister of Education, decided to announce this result through YouTube. that is affiliated to the ministerial council. So people were expecting to receive this result in the website of the ministry, and this is now overcome, and now we are witnessing the utilization of a tool that is widely spread, and which is YouTube. I don't want to talk about media and the importance of the media. It is something that is now taken for granted, and everyone knows the strategic importance of the media in the social, economic, cultural life of our countries. In the past, the poet was the most impactful means because they were able to reach the kings, presidents, etc. Now we have different means of communication in addition to radio, media, into radio, TV, internet, etc. and social media. Media basically relies on the source of the news, of the information. In the past, the most important component was the presenter, the tone of his voice, and we were taking this presenter as a model. He was the most component, which is considered as the tool which can attract the audience. Now it's different, and I remember when I was studying in the United States of America, we had a questionnaire, and this questionnaire was about who are the people who have more popularity. And I remember Walter, a presenter was Walter, and according to this questionnaire, this presenter was more popular than the American president, which means that if this presenter says something to the public, they will believe him more than the American president. This is to say that the credibility and popularity that this presenter gained and accumulated was reflected in the public. Now these things changed. Now we notice that the receiver of the information is different. If we come to, and if we remember that in the past the journalist and the presenter should be of academic background, and I remember that when I first applied to journalistic club, I was requested that I should have a card and a number of requirements. Now we notice that everybody can become journalist through this social media means, through the internet, and in a very sophisticated way, not the facts as the past. We have to bear in mind these changes, and we have to bear in mind that we are in front of a revolution by all means in the circulation of information, of news. The TV or the newspaper are no longer the predominant means in receiving and circulating the media. Now, whenever you want to look for news, you go to your mobile. And here in your mobile, you look for tools like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or something else, Instagram. But you end up by discovering that you resort to these tools to verify news or to keep pace with any changes, anytime, anywhere. So these tools are with you and you are controlling them and the time you want to check them. It's why the acknowledgement of people working in media is very important, because some people still think that the print newspaper is the origin and it can't be overcome. And when you discuss with them or argue that with them, they start listing the negative effect of the social media. But we have to acknowledge that this social media means are now more impactful than the print media. It's why I would like to stress on the fact that the source is not the official channel of the state, which is the print newspaper or the TV, but now we have diverse means of information and news. This gives the audience choices and options. We are no longer obliged to resort to the print newspaper or to the official TV channel. So we have more competitiveness, and you are in front of an audience who are more demanding. That was not the case in the past. In the past, when we were reading a newspaper and I tell somebody I read it in X or Y newspaper, they tell you ignore it. This is talk of newspapers, which means it's not that credible or reliable. But now, when you say that I read it in Facebook or Twitter or some of the social media, it gives the impression that it is something more reliable and more popular. So it's why we have to say that we should deal with media as an open platform. We cannot say that some party monopolizes the news and the other not. We have to acknowledge that there is a severe competitiveness, and sometimes this comes from some parties and from some individuals who are maybe teenagers or children who have 200,000 followers. Why? Because they know how to utilize this means. And I know some teenagers and young people who have tremendous number of people or followers, and we have to know that there are some active followers and inactive followers. So the question now is how to utilize more positively these tools. And here we have to look at the business community, the companies and organizations which started to understand and absorb the importance of that. So the marketing employees in these companies use these tools in order to marketize the products and the services of these companies to the customer, because they know for sure that these tools are very important and they are the bridge for them to the customer in a more user-friendly way. One of the things that the social media means are very effective in is the use of BP. Now when you read a newspaper, a news in a newspaper, or you see some presenter in a TV, you think and you try to analyze the news, and you try to look at the body language of the presenter, etc. But when you see it in YouTube, for instance, you have the tendency to accept it more. So the way of conveying the information or the message is very important in a way that it becomes more influential and impactful on the receiver and the audience. And people accept the content of this information when they see them in a video. So my point here is that the source of the information changed, the tools that are utilized are changed, and the audience changed as well. Thank you very much, Doctor. Now we will move to Mr. Mohammed Al-Hammadi, who will talk based on his experience. He will talk more deeply about the role of technological development in supporting media. Mr. Mohammed Al-Hammadi is the editor-in-chief of Al-Ittihad newspaper and executive director of editing and publishing at the Abu Dhabi media company. He founded and was editor-in-chief of the Arabic edition of National Geographic magazine and has had numerous roles since joining Al-Ittihad in 1994. Mr. Mohammed Al-Hammadi has been columnist for more than 15 years. He received numerous awards. Mr. Mohammed Al-Hammadi, we are pleased to welcome you. You have the floor. Good evening, everybody. I would like to thank the Emirates Center for Strategic Studies and Research, and I would like to thank especially the General Director Jamal Sanad Al-Suwaidi. Dr. Alnuaimi took you on a light trip on the history of the news and social media. If we go back a few years back to one conference organized by the Emirates Center for Strategic Studies and Research, it was about the revolution of social media, and it was talking about media and the way forward. Before 1 year beforehand, and especially in 2004, a number of students established a website, a social website in the university, and this website now has more than 1 billion subscribers. And after that, we were introduced to Twitter, and which has now more than 800 million subscribers. So when we talk about what was happening and what will happen, we have to bear in mind that we live in an era where there are mega information, big storages of information and news, and there is no room for privacy. And you know, we are obsessed by this theme of privacy, and people start to follow others, what they eat, what they wear, what they dress, etc. So now we are in front of a new reality. The human being is a media being, and we are witnessing a technological and information revolution that is unprecedented in history. If we look at the number of users of internet, we see more than 2 billion people using internet, which means more than 35% of the population of Earth are using the internet. The owners of smartphones exceed 2 billions, and you know that we are 7 billions in this planet. These numbers and figures give us some glance on how we are living and the way we are moving forward. Now it's not about the website, it's about smartphone, the iPhone, and the smart devices. It's why I think that media is in a stage, a transitional stage in this few years. It is changing our skin, and it's changing its skin from a traditional pattern, from one direction pattern to diverse directions, to more interactive pattern. The media now is interactive. It's no longer one direction pattern, and it is more sustainable because it is more interactive. And I think that everybody here in this hall is a journalist, because every one of you tweets something, puts some image on Instagram, on Flickr, or other means and tools. If we talk about our local media, I think that in the United Arab Emirates, it is one of the Arab countries which kept pace with these changes. We had websites very early in the Ittihad newspaper, where we were copying and pasting by using the scan at that time in order to provide them in the website for the viewers. I think that nowadays every newspaper has a website, and every institution has the website, and it is an index that there is a great interest in media, and there is willingness to keep pace with the development of media, how audience deal with the news and media. Now the generation which follows up the news are different, and when I meet a student of media, I ask them, do you read newspapers? If I'm talking to 20 students, I find one student or two reading newspapers only. Perhaps this two or this one student just read it by coincidence when their parents bring it home, etc. And the rest are reading news on their smart devices. Before entering to this hall, we're talking about this theme, whether the print media is threatened, whether it will vanish in the future. I think that this issue is debatable, and I had a meeting last year in Berlin, and publishers from different countries in the world were talking about this theme. Is there any future for the print media? And we had counterparts from Australia, from Europe and America, and our concern was whether we are threatened. But we came to the conclusion that maybe there will be a downsizing, but we will survive. One of the researchers in the United Arab Emirates conducted research, and he defined a date and said that in 10 years print media will disappear. Of course, it's not something easy to say something like that, because as you know, it's based on criteria like the budget of the newspapers, magazines, the advertisements, the announcements, and the popularity of the media means. Most of newspapers in the United Arab Emirates have revenues and good income and can guarantee their survive in the coming few years. If we talk about the question whether we are in need of developing our communication with the audience, I do believe that it is clear that development should be continuous and sustainable, and there is an increase in development in this media, and it is noticeable. We develop our platforms using iPad, iPod, because we believe that this is the future. The print media will remain, but will be overshadowed by the smart tools. Our audience nowadays is more interactive. They like to interact with anything. Our generation prefers to become more engaged and participate in creating the news and giving their feedback. It's why we notice that there is a great feedback. I think that Twitter is a good example to mention here, and it gives us how there is an accelerating pace in circulating the news, in the spreading them in different accounts, in Twitter, Facebook, etc. And we have this behavior, this communicational behavior, and the human being became more willing to interact with others. I think that it is a healthy phenomenon. We as journalists try to benefit from this new reality, because at the end, and realistically and pragmatically, this is the future. We are heading toward this era, this interactive era. Maybe some people wonder why audience are so enthusiastic about this means. I think that interactive social media have the privilege, has a special privilege, which is given more freedom to the audience. They can check and choose which group they can belong to. They can use their names or some pen names, etc., which gives them more comfort and encourage them more to forge this future for the media. The other point I would like to mention here is that we have to look at the audience as journalists as well. They need this transitional change, and when I was participating in the last Media Arab Forum, there was an obsession about the new media versus the print media. Undoubtedly, the new media is the fastest and the most developed and is more credible. You can read in social media what you cannot find in the traditional media. And you receive the news before in the social media before you find them in the traditional and official media, which makes us in the United Arab Emirates to rethink and reconsider the way we are heading in media panorama. Here we have to foresee in a more sophisticated way our mechanisms and ways of work. Some people are still resisting this change, but I think that resisting such a change is nonsense. We will not reach anything if we continue to resist. Media is progressing. The requirements and the needs of the audience should be fulfilled. Maybe newspapers in the past were in black and white. When we introduced the colors, this had more impact. Some newspapers nowadays kept the black and white, and you were considering that as some prestigious status, and if it's changed to colorful pages, this will impact its status. But I think they were mistaken, because the audience has continuing needs in terms of the size of the newspaper, the content, the direction of the newspaper. So we should keep pace with the trend and the needs of the audience. We should give them what they need and what they expect. Thank you. I think that we will take some questions from you. I have to comment on something, and when my colleague Hammadi talked about the privacy issue, about people following others, what they eat or what they wear, I can tell you that the new media is defeating the print media and the old classical media in several ways. If we look at at the tweets, for instance. You find several newspapers using tweets of yesterday's, for instance, half a page or full page. If you listen to our radios, they always, every morning, they refer to the tweets and that the tweets and messages that are listed in Twitter or Facebook, etc. So there is an acknowledgement by the classical media that we are trying to keep pace with the new media. That is one point. There is a very dangerous element in the new media because it is available, open, everyone who wants to build and everyone who wants to destroy. Unfortunately, people of ideologies, destructive ideologies, are aware of the importance of this new media and they are utilizing it in a very effective way for the sake of their objectives. The government institutions are trying to catch up with them. If we look at I'll give you an example. ISIS, they don't have TV or radio, but everyone from you knows, every one of you knows Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, their leader. Why? Because they use this social media, Al-Qaeda, their statements, their announcement, they utilized the social media. Now we have to be aware that our hesitation on using the new media and utilizing it to the full will make us backward, especially the extremists and fundamentalists. When we come and see that these destroyers and these people use this social media means in gathering donations, especially in Ramadan. They put bank accounts, numbers of phone and images, very pathetic or merciful, and they utilize this images using this social media means, and they indeed gather and collect millions of dollars. These people who donate this money, they don't know them and they don't know whether they are real or they have good intentions, and this money is used to collect jihadists from all over the world in order to commit terrorist attacks. Third, the issuance of fatwas, the platform of issuing fatwas and display and share them in social media. These extremists are using that as well, or using social media to disseminate these fatwas, which reflect the intellectual terrorism, and this makes you in a position where you are neutral if you are not against them, because they utilize and they use hadiths and verses of Quran in a convincing way and in a manipulating way. From that perspective, we have to say that we have to catch up and we have to be more interactive with the social media. Otherwise, we will lose the battle with these extremists, because they are more aware of this social media compared to us, and they are achieving their objectives. Unfortunately, social media means, as I said, has positive effects and negative effects. One of the negative effects is rumors. It is a very fast tool to disseminate rumors, and it's why we have to verify and scrutinize all information that we receive from this social media means, because we have to judge what we receive and to verify the accuracy of the information, whether it is respecting the ethics like defamation or disrespect to religion or the variables of communities. If we do that, we will overcome the inconveniences of the social media. It's why it's very important that we make sure that when we circulate an information that it is true and accurate. If we send a tweet, we have to think first whether it is credible and reliable. And if you send something and discover later that it was wrong, so you have to apologize. I think that this will increase your credibility and makes you more credible and respected by others. So maybe somebody from the audience want to comment. Well, Doctor, I am a believer in the new media, and I believe that it's the future. And regarding the belief in the new media, I think that in our Arab region there is awareness of this new media, especially within the youth, and Twitter in particular. In Saudi Arabia, more than 1 million subscribers in Twitter, and the users of social media in the internet is increasing tremendously in the Arab region, and it is the result of the feeling of the Arab citizen of the importance of these tools, and also because maybe the situations in the Arab world is making people think differently about these tools. But we have to say that the social media tools is a very powerful tool, and maybe we have real battles ahead that we have to fight, and the social media was critical. And through the social media, the players could define whether they defeat their opponents or not. Now we will give you 30 minutes to ask your questions or comments. Please introduce yourself and the organization he represents. Doctor, you have the floor. I'm Dr. Akmal Abd Al-Halim. I'm from the scholarships department. Dr. Alnuaimi mentioned a number of points and he focused on political aspects. Mr. Mohammed listed some other aspects. Me as a father, I think that there is a point which is not tackled sufficiently. I have 3 kids and I feel that the new media is becoming an aggressive attack on our Eastern morals, be it YouTube, Facebook, etc. And I give you an example. I lived in the United States and there is a watershed hour after 10 o'clock in PM. There are movies targeting adults. When we see our TV channels, especially entertainment, they are 24 hours and they don't take into consideration that there are some hours which where they should respect this children and kids, and this we don't find this even in Western TV channels. So I think that the government should play a role in order to stop some slippage in and some bad behaviors and bad aspects in YouTube, etc. We have to protect our children from the bad scenes in TVs, and now we are living in a borderless world, so why not make some chips for TVs behind, for instance, like a sensor, in order to protect our children, because if this movie or this program is beyond or above the age of the children, it should be blocked. This is just a suggestion. I think that this parental lock will be helpful to us as parents and for our kids. I would love you to talk about the role of technology in supporting the ethical aspect of the Arab world, because we are subject to an aggressive attack indeed. We'll take another question. Peace be upon you, Khalid Omar. I'm a journalist and an author. You raised a number of concerns in this seminar. I would like to start from where you ended. If rumors, if disasters come in, and before talking about that, we have to agree that the social media are not a media. We cannot consider them a media. Otherwise, we are entering a very threatening and dangerous circle. Is anyone eligible to enter the field of justice, of medicine, etc.? So we have to be decisive. I think that we are overexcited vis-a-vis the social media. What is shared in social media is a kind of chaos in the world. And I will give you an example. We were in Ittihad newspaper or in TV, we were not issuing any news unless we make sure that it is from WAM. And the same thing was applied in Algeria and Egypt, etc. And we were very meticulous in checking and verifying the source of the news. This means that we are in need of government media that overcomes the social media and oversmart the social media. The second point, if we say that we are moving to world freedom, while we are pushing people to escape, which means that if we have liberties and freedom in the Arab world and we should build our credibility in order to make our audience follow us instead of fleeing to the social media. The other last point to Dr. Al-Noaimi, you gave an example of ISIS. I think that there are parties in the media which have a bad intention. They want to support ISIS. I received several messages and communication from an X channel which talks only about the ISIS. Now we receive another question, so please. Thank you for this seminar, and I thank the two speakers. My question, and I'm Taysir, I'm a government employee. As the two speakers said, we all know that there is the youth. We have to focus on the youth because they are neglected in the print media. They are not given their due. And my question, what are the means and what are the mechanisms that we should follow in order to attract the youth to give more importance to media, print media? And I do suggest personally that the youth are the leaders of the future. Why we don't give them the chance to participate with their ideas, their issues and their concerns? We always notice that in official newspapers they host only the same writers, same intellectuals. Why we don't give the chance to the youth to write in our newspapers? Pedagogically, I think that it's very important that we give our kids and our children the right to live their own era, and we have to cope with this new reality. I don't think we have the right to pull them to the past and to our generation. The only way is to make the son a brother and the daughter a sister, and you have to understand the characteristics of their own era. Nowadays, nobody from our youth and generation are watching TV. Everyone is using their smart devices, iPad or iPhone, etc. Even when they sit together to eat on the same table, they are using their smart device. In the market, in the mall, there is no communication. Everybody is using the smart device. This is their era. We cannot impose something else on them. We cannot restrict their lifestyle. Now, if you talk about the ethics, we have to acknowledge that the world is open. No limits. And if somebody tells you there is a proxy or some protection programs, they are laughing at you, they are fooling you. These children are able to break any limits, and what we have to do is to interact with them and to orient them in order to encourage them to utilize this means more positively and constructively. We have to respect their interest. Okay, we have to bring them up to be positive, constructive, productive, serving the community, taken into considerations the values of the family, obeying fathers and parents, etc. So we have to nurture the positive aspects. The era of orders and instructions has gone. So we as parents, we have to bring up our children in a different way, not the way we have been brought up. I totally disagree with that, and I think this is a failure if we think this way. We should understand the way this generation think, and we have to allow them to live their own era, their own lifestyle, but with some orientation, peacefully, but not using instructions and orders. I totally disagree with you, Mr. Khalid. There are no borders or limits in media. We are in a globalized world. Now there is the freelancer journalist. Even the most prestigious channels, they deal with the freelancer. So now I think we should not stick to some framework, some classical and traditional framework. Anything that is issued from the official institution or channel is not necessarily the only source that we should resort to, but what we have to do is to look at the freedom in an open way. I don't have to say that I will believe only the news and the information if it is issued from WAM. People will not interact with you. People will continue looking for news in other sources, and you will continue interact with them. But I don't have to say that in order to fight rumors, I have to resort only to the official source. I think it's wrong. I have to work on building and reinforcing the credibility of my channel and my means, and I can utilize this social media means, no problem. And I can tell you that ISIS, and I don't talk about who established or founded ISIS, but I'm talking about the media utilization of ISIS cause, and these videos are broadcast in some social media accounts. After that, all the international TV channels take these videos and they broadcast them, and people know more about these extremists. People don't go to BBC or CNN or other channels, but they go to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, because they know that this social media means and tools are faster in disseminating this news. I don't think that we should rely on the official source, but we have to be balanced and to utilize this diversity of sources of news. On the same issue, I'd like to say that if we talk about social media and the new media, we cannot neglect the fact that thousands of media means are the source of information. Even tweeters and people active in social media, they receive the information from CNN or BBC or Ittihad or Arabiya or whatever, and they post them in the Twitter and Facebook, etc. So these channels which invest billions of dollars, they are still keeping their reputation. It doesn't contradict the fact that the effort of a number of people in our societies, they post some news which are not conveyed to us even through most professional channels. So I don't think that we have to prioritize the social media more and invest billions of dollars than the way we what we invest in the channels, etc. Going back to the professional media or the official media, Use the microphone, please. There are issues that have to do with the state, and the reference should be the official agencies. I give you an example. If we say that, for example, there is a Ramadan forum in the Sheikh Mohammed residence, I can send a photographer, and here the responsibility is on me if I don't take the news from a reliable official source. So when we talk about the freedom of social media, we have to support and encourage frankly and openly that we should keep supporting the official media, because it is the latest resort for the citizens. I disagree with you. I think that the official media is in need to acknowledge the new realities, because it's the classical media cannot continue its progress alone. There should be a complementarity with the social media. I will give you an example. Maybe some event, and there is an event which is not covered by this official means, and now we are receiving this event through YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, and in the past we had a number of criteria to circulate such news and events, and the most popular images and news are the ones which are not official, which are not based on the official traditional criteria. The other part in your introduction and your comments, the role of media, I agree with you when you say that the media should be more interactive with the audience, should look at the needs of the youth. They are our target in the media ecosystem, in addition to other ages. But I agree with you, we should give more room to the youth and give them the right to share their concerns and interests. On the other hand, regarding the ethics, it's very difficult to control it. In the era of channels, we had similar discussion, and it was difficult. Now it's even becoming more difficult. Controlling the content of digital media is more challenging. It's up to us as fathers, mothers, families, etc., to find a way to orient our kids and children. We will take another set of questions. Assalamu alaikum.
Mohammed Mustafa. I'm a CEO of an Internet Safe Community Foundation. Our core job is to protect the children online. Just to have a question, most of the social media doesn't allow the children under the age of 13 to access Facebook or any other social media. Do you have any study from UAE, what percentage of the children, underage children at the age of 10 are accessing these materials and posting these materials? Just a question. Thank you very much.
Well, there's no, it's open. Anyone can access it, and these kids, they play with the age, They create an account, they try to put an age which is 19 or 21, and they play with it. So, and there is no way that you can, follow up on that and make sure that they don't do that.
So your question was, is there a study regarding this?
A study? I thought I didn't see it.
He said, is there a study regarding
I am not aware of any study like that. Okay.
All right. Mr. Mohammed, would you like to answer? No, okay.
My name is Dr. Maiba Khalil. I would prefer to speak in English because it's the language I always use. I'm a member of an international thinking tank, the Nexus Institute. We belong to the European Parliament. What you've just explained in Arabic, I do understand that. about the effect of media on public and on people and on the minds. We call it persuasion of mind. And that's old, and it has nothing to do with Facebook or Twitter. Perhaps they did help to make them more accessible to large public. That is true, but persuasion of mind has been used by Hitler, by Stalin, by Margaret Thatcher, by Ronald Reagan, and all of them. So politics has to be a clean case. In that case, I do agree with that sir there, because Daesh, whatever we would call it, it's just an extremist Islamic way of persuading minds of people, whatever they do, which is, we will not, okay, that's one point. I would like to know your reaction about this. Second point is disconnect by being connected. You see, we all have our iPhones, and every child in the house is connected, but he's actually disconnected, and that is an answer for you. Actually, that is the new kind of family life we have, and we have to put our norms and values, but I do agree with you, to get a better family life. The third point I would like to point is certainly governments and media, and you hear it very often in the house. I never watch TV, because whenever you watch TV, you see this kind of brainwashing, what's going on, and then you hear very often, oh, it's only media, it's the circus. You see, and the point is, what I would really want to hear from you is the positive effect we would really like to reach by good media, positive media, because the moment we open the laptop, you can even get, with one touch of the button, you can get Timbuktu online. So what's the positive development of media in the future? What we can have more effect than Daesh or others. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there another question? All right. تفضل دكتور.
بالعربي.
Whatever.
بالعربي ولا بالانجليزي؟ انت سالتي بالانجليزي.
You asked in English. So I will start with the question that was in the middle, because it's my field, it's education. I think that we are well connected
through, you know, their vision, through their environment. خليني الان بتكلم بشرحها بالعربي على اساس هيك. نحن وهي قضيه مهمه لحياتنا العامه.
When we look at kids using their mobiles, we think that they are isolated. Maybe they are totally isolated from the world. But we based our judgment on our conception of the sociology. But this person who we think is isolated has maybe 1,000 friends, and he shares with them dreams, issues, ideas, etc. Maybe one friend is in Cairo, the other in Baghdad, the third in Riyadh, the fourth in London, etc. So he is living this social world. He is not creating this world, but it is the reality. It is his new reality. This network of friends makes him more intimate and compensates what he lacks in terms of intimacy in the family. This is a reality that we have to acknowledge. We should not instruct and order that kid to cut his relation with this friend, bearing in mind that he is always interacting with them and connecting with them, and this gives him joy and happiness. So this virtual social environment is adding some value to the life and lifestyle of this kid. And if you want to stop that, you will lose that kid, and he will start taking distance from you and isolate himself from your circle, but he will keep interacting with his virtual friends. It is his world, and we are old, we are adults, and we have friends in Twitter, Facebook. We didn't see these friends, but we feel that we have things together with them. We serve them, and they serve us as we are, as if we have been brought up in the same house. So it's why I think that on this basis we should analyze connect and disconnect. I have a question.
And you have virtual
أيوة
friends.
شوفوا هنا المشكلة إذا أنا جاوبت على هالسؤال.
If I answer this question, this is the problem. I base my answer on my experience during my childhood. I don't have the right to restrict the life of our children, our new generation, the way I've been brought up. We orient, that's true, but we should not be the guardian, the censor. I said in the beginning that we have to convey our heritage to the new generation peacefully, flexibly, and not using instructions and orders. Of course, go to the mall, you will find yellow hair and some very strange looks in the youth. This is the responsibility of the school. I forgot the first question and the second question. I'm sorry. What was the second question? Can you repeat your question, please?
Of governments and the effect on social media in contra to what Daesh is doing and others. You know, you can see even this difference. You can see it with the media before the revolution of Egypt, and you can see it now. Everybody's dancing, and they have a lot of positive news, etc., because they really want to get to the change. You can see it in politics being really seeking other kind of Egypt. You can see this happening. Okay, so it's through the culture, norms, and values, etc. What you said about the disconnected or well-connected, I do agree with you partly. I'm sorry, we in Europe we discuss a lot in the Sal. The point is, if everyone of the family does disconnect, everyone in the family creates his own world, and that is the minus point. I'm not talking about children. Children, of course, you have to give them the discipline, the guideline. You have to know your child before you start raising him. Whatever you want to reach with him, you think your child plays the piano wonderfully, so he's going to be a pianist. Nowadays, my son is a surgeon and not a pianist. And the other one is a very good violist, but he's now international lawyer. So this is not something we choose for them. We guideline. When we guideline, we have to know what's going on in his life. When everyone is disconnected in a family, you have no family life.
بس.
So
I agree with this 100%.
Okay, thank you.
نسيت ايه بالنسبه لدور الدوله والحكومه الجانب الايجابي.
Yes.
انا اعتقد لا شك ان في مسؤوليه على الدوله.
Yeah.
The state and the government should be accountable. I agree with that. The state has its tools like education, schools, media, and also mosques. They should use these channels in a way to plant the values and reinforce these values among the youth, because at the end you need a consolidated society. There should be common values for your society in order to prevent any crisis. That's all I can say. Mr. Mohammed, do you have anything to add? Always these questions are asked, and I hope that we don't have this phobia toward the new media. Sometimes people focus on the inconveniences, and I think that the reality is imposing itself on us. We should look at it as something that can be utilized. All the concerns are frequently mentioned. Similar questions are asked. The new media will be the future, and as far as the media is developed, the role of the family becomes more challenging, more complicated, and more difficult. On the other hand, the legislations should play a role in bridging the gap. I think that legislations are important to keep the coherence and cohesion of individuals of society. In the United Arab Emirates, there is a law that protects this right. And it is existing, and a lot of things that have happened and that are in the courts of the United Arab Emirates, they are easily judged and decided. The other point, I can tell you that I have a daughter who is 7 years, and she has an account in Instagram. So she posts images, and the thing that is that these kids are interested in this new media, and I think that if the media is more interactive, it is more beneficial to all stakeholders and individuals. At the end of this evening, I have to thank Dr. Ali Rashid Al-Noaimi and Mr. Mohammed Al-Hammadi for their presentations and for sharing their ideas with us about the role of technological development in supplying media. I also thank all the attendees for their questions and ideas, and I look forward to see you next Tuesday, July the 8th, and I would like to invite you to a Sahur buffet, and you can follow the signs or ask any one of my colleagues to help you reach the buffet place. Thank you very much.